Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Join me again today as we explore the very character of God. Yesterday we talked about the God who welcomes, taking it from Romans chapter 15, verse 7. Welcome one another as Christ has welcomed you. Another translation translates that, accept one another as God has accepted you in Christ. Accept one another. So that idea of welcome, I want to expand it a little bit today and talk about the God who accepts us. He not only welcomes us, but he accepts us. And now, a few years ago in one of our group studies, we were talking about this kind of issue of God accepting us and God, how he sees us. And one of the ladies said, what I'm feeling here is, and what I'm hearing is that God accepts us as is, where is. And we all kind of stopped because it was one of those sort of prophetic, powerful moments when we knew that wasn't just something she had made up or thought up, but it really carried the weight of God's presence with it. Like God was saying, I want you to know I do accept you. Not accept you when you get your act straightened out. Not accept you when you fly right and do right and live right. I accept you as you are. Where you are, where you find yourself. And again, it's back to that Luke 15 story. I know I go there a lot, but it contains so much of the image of who God is. And here this father accepts this kid as he is. Still ragged and dirty and still, no obvious change there. He accepts him as he is, and he accepted him where he was. He didn't wait till the kid came and knocked on the door. He ran out into the street. He went to where the kid was and accepted him there. Acceptance implies the idea of I embrace you without conditions. There's no fine print here. To accept something as is, where is, you sign off on that, and you're realizing even if I don't get a good deal, I have bought this thing as is, where is. Well, that's what Father has done for us in Christ, isn't it? He has purchased us. He has bought us. He has gambled on the bill of sale, if you would, for us, for you and for me, because he got us as is, where is. And boy, we're a mess. We're a mess most of the time. And no matter how hard we try, we continue to mess up. It is incredibly wonderful to know that we have a God who accepts us just as we are. Now, no, I'm not trying to say that he doesn't care or he doesn't want to see us change or be transformed. In fact, that's what happens when we get in the Father's presence, we become transformed. I mean, look at the Luke 15 story again. The prodigal son comes home in his rags and he stinks and he's dirty and he comes, when he gets into the presence of the Father, if you look at him a few hours later, he's got a beautiful robe on. He's all washed and cleaned up. He smells good again. He's got the family ring on. He is really impressive. He has been transformed into the image of that family. He now looks like that family. And that's what God does. As he accepts us and we embrace him, we find ourselves being transformed. We are no longer as is, where is. We're in a new as is. And we are a new where is because we're in his kingdom, in his presence, in his heart. And in there we become transformed so that we become as he is. We become as he is. We become transformed into his image. All because he accepts us as is, where is. That's the beginning point for us all, isn't it? And so, when we come before him today, to in our devotional time or whatever, the whole point of that is we want to become more like him. We want him to restore the image of God in us. We want him to restore holiness and righteousness and justice and mercy and compassion in us. We want to be like him. The only hope of that is that he accepts us as we are, which is not like that. And as he accepts us in our ungodliness, in the areas of not just the good parts of us, but the bad parts of us too, the dark parts of us, the ugly parts of us, those all get transformed in his presence because he embraces us with those things as is. So I just hope today this really encourages your heart Because I know sometimes when we mess up or we have a bad attitude or we have trouble forgiving someone, what happens is we tend to stand back from God and wait till we get ourselves kind of cleaned up a bit before we come home. Please don't do that. He accepts you just the way you are because he knows that in his presence you'll become the way he is. That's the good news today. Let's think about that. We'll talk again tomorrow.